Hi everybody, it's Faye Mulsbury from Faye's Stampin' Studio. I hope you enjoyed my short little tutorial today. I am going to show you the Comfort and Hope stamp set. Now this is one that I received during celebration for sales, so I received it for free. So that's something that you can think about if more ways to get discount shopping done. If you were to sign up as a demonstrator, you would be able to receive things. And now until the end of June, there's an awesome deal where you can sign up, and for $135 you receive $165 worth of free product, plus you can also choose a bundle of your choice. So that could be a stamp set and dies, or that could be a stamp set and a punch. So your choice. You can save more by pick the most expensive item. And anyway, so onward. This is the Comfort and Hope stamp set, and it sells for $29, and it is on page 88 of our new 2020-21 annual catalog. So with that, we're going to make this card. It's just a randomly stamped card background, making your own background, which is kind of a simple way to stamp. It's a great way to start stamping. So we'll get right at that, and I'm going to bring in my just a little foam for stamping on, just on my surface here. And this is what we're going to do. So, okay, I'm going to start off with stamping this here one, and that is, actually no, I'm going to stamp the sentiment first, just because then I'll know exactly where not to have them. I'm going to use Cajun Craze simply because I don't have our new cinnamon cider ink pads yet. So I'm just going to use Cajun Craze, and it coordinates very nicely as well, so not to worry. Sending you a paper hug. And then the next thing we're going to stamp is, I'm going to stamp this here background, and I'm going to do it 3 times, starting on the lower left-hand side, and I'm going to use this weave stamp. And we're going to do it. Ink up that stamp good. And then I'm just going to start down here, and we're just randomly doing it. This is just kind of one of those, you don't have to have it straight, you don't have to have it anything, because we're just going to fill in this background. So I don't want it to go over top there, so I'm just going to stamp there. As you can see, it's kind of overlapping right there, but that's okay. And then the next one we're going to do is, I'm going to stamp this other, it's kind of more of a rick-racky look. I'm not sure what it would be called even. I'm going to ink this up well, and I am just going to do 2 stamps. And I'm going to overlap here a bit. And that's a Coastal Cabana that I used there. I think I forgot to mention that to you. Finished with it. And the next one we're going to stamp is, I think we'll stamp those larger, they look like kind of like little bubbles, and those are out of Early Espresso. And that's just the little bubbly look on here. And I'm just going to randomly stamp that as much or as little as I wish, and you wouldn't have to ink it up every time. You could just go with it. A light, see, just like that. It doesn't have to have the ink on it every time. I think I think I like that. Go with that. And the last one, I'm going to use Bermuda Bay. That coordinates beautifully with the Coastal Cabana, but it's just a slight shade darker than the Coastal Cabana is. And I'm kind of going to stick with doing those over top of this other colors in here. Like I said, just randomly put your mark on it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. See, that one looks different than my original, and that's okay. Okay, I think I'll stamp that. I think we'll do the inside as well prior to going on, and I'll show you what the inside looks like. And the inside is just, I couldn't decide if this was pine cones or if it was leaves. I wasn't too sure about that, so I'm gonna go with pine cones. And where did I put, oh, here's the stamp. And I'm gonna do those in crumb cake. So all I did was kind of went to the middle and did it down slightly. And I know that looks darker than the color that I used, but oh, maybe it'll dry a little lighter. And then I used the sentiment, hope and comfort. So I used early espresso for that. So hoping you like that. Good. All I need to do now is make sure I get all my ink pads closed so I don't get ink on things. And the other thing I didn't bring with me is a couple of punches. I just used a couple of punches and punched out of the scraps. That looks like the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch punches. I'm just going to grab them. And all I need is a little scrap of my gold. Punched one, and I'll punch a second one. There. So all I did here was used a little bit of glue and stuck those together. I think on this one I'm going to use a glue dot because these are some glue dots that I got from one of my paper pumpkin kits. I don't know if many of you are interested in the paper pumpkin. It's a beautiful kit that comes to your door once a month, and you have to subscribe by the 10th of each month in order to receive that month's. And they cost about $30, and you can subscribe. You can go monthly, or you can go every 3 months, or 6, or for a whole year. Yeah, they're really quite nice, and they ran at about $30, I think. And the longer you subscribe, the little more savings you have on there. If you go for the whole annual subscription, you end up receiving one of the kits for free, actually, is about what that works out to. And if you decided you wanted to do that, your best bet would be to just have your own workshop and do it through there, because then you get the hostess benefits for that. And yeah, it's a great idea and a great way to save on there. And so now I'm just gonna stick a little bit of adhesive on this here back piece. I didn't use any extra dimensionals or anything. This one, it is just so simple to make, and yet quite elegant. Now, and this here piece, this is from Cherry Blossoms die set, and it's still available. We got it it was in the book last season, and I think on So I'm just gonna, I just wanted a little bit of accent on there, and don't necessarily have to glue the whole thing down. Or another way is you could use our adhesive sheets to stick this on with too, and then that would, yeah. And then you could just finish it off by adding a couple of 2 or 3 pearls or whatever you have, or a sequins, or anything that you would like to dress it up with. I'm going to use I think I might just use these here on this one instead of, I used pearls on this one, but this time I think I'm just going to use some of these self-adhesive sequins. I think they'll look quite nice on there. These are kind of in a, I don't know, a blush color or something like that. And they're kind of neat because they already have the glue already on the backs of them, so you don't have to, there. So there. What do you think of that? I think it's just slightly different. I just did a little change up on it, so, and there you go. And thanks for stopping by again. One more.